Well, hello YouTube. This is VSG Mitch doing my 11th month VSG surgery post-operative update, letting you guys know where I'm at. It's hard to believe it's been 11 months since I went under at Geraha Kedoya Hospital in Kedoya, West Jakarta, under Dr. Handy Wing, who's now no longer at Geraha Kedoya but practicing out of Omni in Alam Sutra. So yeah, it's been 11 months, and it's been a very wild ride, interesting experience, and life-changing experience. I've said many times regarding the surgery, and people ask me about it. It's the best decision I could have made. I did the right thing for me, but it's not medical advice for what someone else should do. I said it, I wouldn't change a thing, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Interesting note, I was talking to Dr. Handy a few weeks ago, and I made a comment to reply to someone's question on my having VSG surgery in Indonesia. They asked about the what type of drugs they use for painkillers, and it was really not very good ones at Geraha Kedoya. But he did tell me that Omni and Alam Sutra, that they use synthetic morphine. So even though they don't use opiates in Indonesia, they do use synthetic opiates at Omni, so they're more effective than the things that were used on me, which is probably the equivalent of Tylenol 3. It was not the best painkillers in the world. But I did sleep a lot the first couple days, and then by the third day the pain wasn't that bad as to not being able to manage. The worst thing was obviously trying to eat, trying to get anything down. It was a little difficult, but again, it was a great decision for me. The stats, I know people always wonder how things are going. You can kind of look at my face and tell that I've lost a lot of weight. I have. My starting weight, the weight that I didn't realize I'd gotten up to, that prompted me to I kind of had a bit of a breakdown, because I've lost so much weight, as I told you in some earlier videos. I've lost so much weight so many times that when I realized I'd gotten up to 346 pounds again, that I was in tears. And so my February of last year, I was 346 pounds. I was down to 336 when I consulted with the doctor, about 10 pounds less. Then I was down to 317 the date of surgery, as I was trying to do a bit of a pre-op liquid diet to try to get the weight down some. Date of surgery, 317 pounds. And my weight as of this morning, 11 months since surgery, is 330.4 pounds. So if you do the math, that's what's that, 86 pounds lost since surgery. The 86 point some odd pounds lost since surgery, or 116 pounds, 115 pounds, something like that, lost since my first initial consult with the doctor. So, or rather, since my weight that prompted me to do something. So it's been a pretty good trip. I do work out a lot. People ask how does the surgery doesn't do it. It's not a magic bullet. The surgery keeps me from being able to eat much. I don't eat much, even though it's 11 months post-op. If we go out to eat, I avoid carbohydrates whenever possible. And then we do eat out a lot. We're in Indonesia. Sometimes it's cheaper to hit a restaurant than it is to buy groceries. And then our work schedule, we leave for work at 6 o'clock in the morning. We get home around 5 o'clock in the evening. So you don't really feel like cooking a whole lot at that point. We do cook at home some, but we eat out reasonably most of the time. So yesterday we went out to a yakiniku place, which is a Japanese grilled meats. I ate as much meat as I wanted. I don't know how much that really would be. If I weighed it, it'd be hard to say. Maybe 6 ounces of beef or something like that. Maybe, I think I ate a little bit of kimchi with it. That was that was pretty well my meal. I try not to eat fried foods, but occasionally, we'll get hot wings or something, and I can eat 6 wings. That's gives you an idea of stomach capacity after 11 months. And the wings here are not massive jumbo wings; they're just kind of average chicken wings. Jumbo chicken wings I probably couldn't eat, but maybe 4. And sometimes it seems like some foods you can eat more of. Some foods have more the ability to compact a little bit more. I can eat generally one split chicken breast. I can eat one side of it. A little bit of salad with that. Bakso soup, which is a Indonesian meatball soup, very similar to any Asian meatball soup. I can have, I could eat the meatballs and some of the noodles and some of the broth, and that's it. A far cry from when I would have soup as an appetizer along with a couple plates of salad, a steak, go back and get a whole plate full of desserts, and maybe still eat more if I wanted. So those days are gone. The surgery ultimately wasn't about losing the weight. The surgery was about not gaining it back, because after 4 times of losing 100 pounds, I was tired of gaining it back. The ability, and it seemed like it really didn't matter. I wouldn't be eating crazy. It's just the ability to eat any kind of quantity, and honestly, the surgery does change your outlook on food. I don't care for white bread. I'll eat a little wheat bread sometimes. Rice, I used to love it. Still like it, but if I eat more than a couple tablespoons of it, I get sick. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. I guess it just swells in my stomach, even though if it's already been cooked, it still swells. And carbs tend to do that. Potatoes will do it. I can eat just a little bit of potatoes, but that's pretty well it. I can eat some oatmeal. People ask, what do you eat for carbohydrates? I don't eat much. I don't eat a whole lot of carbs at all. I just can't. Protein shakes, they don't fill me up. Not only that, I cannot stand whey protein anymore. Since the surgery, I used to like whey protein shakes. I could eat Optimum Nutrition, or I'll be curious when I go back to the States to try a different brand or two of protein shake. I used to really like Muscle Milk. I know it's not the lowest calorie, lowest fat option out there, but I lost a lot of weight drinking them before, and I used to like the taste. Pure Protein is another one. I used to like Pure Protein. The ones I've tried, the shakes I've tried here, Optimum Nutrition, L-Min, and a couple others. Now Carnivore, which is a beef protein based shake, those I can drink okay. They're not too bad. A little bit salty and a little too sweet, but a lot better than whey protein. Like I was saying though, the surgery is not a magic bullet. It doesn't cause you to lose the weight itself. I've stalled multiple times. My weight at Christmas or before Christmas was in the 240s. I'm only down to 230 now. So it seems like I've only lost 15 pounds or so since Christmas. But I have repartitioned a lot. I work out heavily. My bench press is probably pushing 300 pounds now. I haven't 1 rep maxed in a while, but I did 7 reps at 225 on bench working out the other day. I did 4 sets of that. So I can probably do 270, 280 anyway, if not a little more. So my upper body strength is really getting there. I've gained muscle in my shoulders quite a bit. Even in my neck, I can kind of see definition that wasn't there before. And, that's a positive thing. I feel younger, more energy. I think I even look a little bit younger than I did before. So, all those are positive things. Negatives, I can't really say a whole lot about it. I still don't have a lot of endurance for running. I never have. Strangely, I can get on the CrossFit machine, or not CrossFit, cross trainer, the elliptical, and I can go at a 70 plus RPM rate on level 10, which is pretty intense. I can go for 10 minutes easy, maybe 20 minutes a little bit rougher, but I could do it. That would be somewhere in the area of 5 miles, something like that, on the elliptical. Dripping sweat, never really getting fully out of breath, huffing a little bit, but not too bad. And some people who can run miles can't do that. Me, a half a mile and I'm dying. I'm out of breath and can't. So maybe it's something to do with my mass, my size, my bone structure. I don't know. I've never been much of a runner, even when I was younger and played football and was in, reasonable shape. I still couldn't run, and I think it's more than just being out of shape. I think it's something physiological. I just don't have the ability to run. Let's see. Negatives. Discomfort eating still. It's just a matter of awareness. It's so easy to overeat because when you're eating and and those of you who've had the VSG surgery, you know what I'm talking about. When you were pre-op, when you had a full stomach, a regular stomach, you could eat until you were full. You could feel yourself getting full, and then once you were full, you could continue to eat for a while, and eventually you'll get to a point where you feel sick because you ate way too much. With a sleeve, you don't have that. You are not really full, and then you're too full. There's not much warning. You've kind of got to have an idea where you need to stop at least that's my experience. I know when I get to 6 wings, I better stop. I could probably eat 7, but if I ate 7, I would be in agony. I would just be miserable. I'd feel like I'm going to throw up. Same way with. We went to the restaurant the other night. I got a jalapeno cheeseburger, no bread. I ate most of the patty and some of the jalapenos and tomatoes and pickle. But that was it. I knew I had to stop. I couldn't eat all that. I had to stop. I couldn't eat the rest of the meat. If I did, I was going to regret it. At the restaurant last night, eating the yakiniku, I knew I didn't really feel full yet, but I knew if I ate any more, I would be too full. So negative is, you just really got to have an awareness about your satiety. I don't know if that's a word. I'm admitting something. You got to have an awareness of when to stop, because if you don't, you're going to get sick. At school sometimes when I'm teaching, if I have a block right after lunch, I have to be really careful, because if I have something, particularly sometimes at school, it's hot. Most of the food at school in our canteen, most of it's not warm. A lot of the Indonesian food is served at room temperature, and I don't really care for that. So one of the things that you can get is one of the vendors there has chicken katsu curry, and of course that's served over rice. Instead of getting the katsu, which is like fried chicken, I'll get a couple skewers of chicken satay and have that chicken instead. But what'll invariably happen is I'll end up eating a few bites of the rice, and I've overeaten. It didn't take much, especially with the liquid. Oh, which brings me to an issue I've mentioned before. Weighing yourself and freaking out over 2 pounds. Don't do it. I gained 2 pounds this week. What have I done? Oh no. Don't do it. Especially if you're a big person. If you're already, if you're still 200 and something pounds, don't wig out over 2 pounds or even 5 pounds. I drink a lot of water. We're supposed to, post-op VSG, you're supposed to drink a lot of water. I drink about 600 milliliter bottles, almost 4 liters of water, or close to a gallon of water a day. That's my normal intake. I keep a bottle of water on me at all times, and I drink it nonstop. I'm able to do that. I guess part of the reason is I'm in Indonesia, and it's very hot here, and you kind of sweat constantly. You're not necessarily wet sweating, but it evaporates. You always have water always going through. At least I do. Always have water going through me. So, I'll drink 6 bottles of water at school during the course of the school day, and I might not even need to go to the restroom. It's because it just goes through me, or it just comes out of me. So, last week I weighed on Monday. I weighed 232.4 pounds, which was my new low weight, and I was really excited about it. And then the next day I weighed 235 point something, which no big deal. I know my weight fluctuates. A couple days later, I think Wednesday, maybe it was Wednesday, I weighed 242 pounds. So I was 10 pounds up in like 3 days. So I didn't freak out. The next day my weight was 237 pounds again. Then Saturday my weight was 233, and then today my weight was 230.4. So which is a new low weight. It's about trends. It's not about fluctuation. As long as you're trending downward, if you go up a little bit, but you're doing the right things. Now, if you're eating stupid, if you're eating fried foods and breads and potatoes and rice and all the nasty stuff that not to eat, if you're eating that and your weight's going up, well, you're probably really gaining weight. But if you're doing the right things and your weight happens to go up, you may be retaining a little water. It's not a big deal. Don't panic. Stay the course. You can do it. Let's see. Well, today, like I said, is 11 months post-op. My surgery was June the 17th last year. This year on June the 19th, which school is out on June the 16th this year, June the 19th, we fly out from Indonesia for good, unless we decide one day to come back. We're leaving Indonesia. We're moving back to Taiwan. I may have mentioned that in another video. We'll be there in July the 17th. We move to Taiwan. So in the interim, we'll be back in the States for a month, visiting friends and family. That'll be nice. We miss it. We miss a lot of things about the States. We don't miss a lot of things about the States too. It's a hard place to live. It really is. But we're looking forward to it. Looking forward to familiarity and comfort, and maybe do a little fishing while I'm home, and eat some familiar foods. Have some Subway. No Subway in Indonesia. Again, visit friends and family. Do a little cooking out. Don't really cook out much here. If you want something barbecued like, you end up getting satay from a street vendor. We look forward to it. We look forward to that. But anyway, as always, I'm trying to do a monthly update. I've got 1 month until my 12-month post-op. I'll do my 12-month post-op right before we move back to the States. 1 year post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy. I'll do that in 1 month, and my goal, I was hoping to be down to 225 pounds at the 1 year mark. It's very possible. I got 1 month to lose basically 5.5 pounds. My ultimate goal was to get down to about 217, 218. Looking at my body now and seeing how much, I've still got a lot of loose skin, so it's kind of hard to judge the fat. If I had skin was tighter, it probably wouldn't look as bad. But I think I could probably lose a lot more weight than I realized I could. Maybe I could lose another 20, 25 pounds, and get down to in the 205 range or the 200 range, and even with my muscle mass, that might be possible. So I'll just stay the course and see what happens. I'm not starving myself. I'm just going to work out every day, or 4 days, 5 days a week, eat healthy, and do the right things. And if I do that, the right things will happen. God's good. This has been a blessing for me. Experience has been just incredible. So as always, if you like the video, if you enjoy the channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Have any questions, put in the comment section down below. Probably going to start up a new video blog type channel when we get to Taiwan. We're going to be in Hsinchu, Taiwan, not Taipei. There's quite a few people do videos from Taipei, but it's really hard to find anything consistent and informative on Hsinchu, Taiwan. So hopefully I can change that. My wife and son and I will be there, and we like to get out and do stuff. We do a lot here in Indonesia. We're going to do a lot there, and maybe we can provide a service that some people might find interesting or useful looking at Hsinchu. So until next time, I'll see you later. This is VSG Mitch, and I'll talk to you again.